Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have George. George is from London, in England, in the UK. So let's see what George has to say. Enjoy the interview. So, hello, George. How are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you? Thank you for
Very
having
well.
me.
The pleasure is all mine. Thanks so much for taking the time this evening for the interview. Thank you.
It's all right, no problem at all.
So, tell me, how's your day today?
Yeah, it was pretty full on. I had uni today.
Huh?
Currently studying media production. Uh,
Wow.
so I only had a short day today, but yeah, it's been pretty full on, to be
So,
honest.
tell me a little bit about your course that you're having right now.
So it's essentially media production. So we cover a lot of topics such as like podcasting, live TV, filmmaking, sound editing, stuff that just everything to do with like the media industry, and you get very hands-on, very physical with cameras, sound equipment,
Wow.
um, basically just setting you up for that area and that industry in a way.
That's amazing. And it's your first year?
Yeah, I'm in the first year.
Wow. So tell me what has been the highlight so far of your course since you started?
Wow, that's I have to be honest, it's just seeing like the range of equipment that I've like never used before, just how good the cameras are, how like the equipment is just next level to like anything I've ever used.
Oh, wow. And tell me where you're from, George.
I'm from the UK. I live in London right now.
Oh my God, you're in London as well.
Yeah, I am. I am.
And London is the place where you're born and raised?
No, I was actually born in Wales.
I
Uh,
see.
I was born in a place called Pontypandy
Okay.
in Wales, and then I moved over here when I was 3 or 4.
Oh, so most of your life you
Yeah,
spend
yeah.
here.
So yeah, the good majority of my life. Yeah.
I see. And you have some relatives still in Wales?
No, everyone that was in Wales has now moved over to the UK.
Amazing. All right, George. Tell me something interesting about yourself, or maybe something that not many people know about you before we start the show.
Okay. Yeah. So I am actually a third Danish on my dad's side. My grandparents on my dad's side are Danish,
Hmm.
which not many people clock onto because I don't look stereotypically like the Scandinavian type. Um, but
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
that's something I don't tell many people. So yeah, that's definitely a new one for a lot of people, definitely.
And you have brother and sister as well?
Yes, I have a younger sister.
Amazing. George, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Come on, then, let's do it. Let's do it.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend, Flo. Wonderful questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song just for us to relax before the first question. All right?
Perfect.
Let's do it. All right, so before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to answer, you don't want to talk about, always can change, okay?
Okay, for sure. Thank you.
Amazing. First question for you is, what is the first thing that you think about when you wake up, usually?
When I wake up, I normally think about making sure my morning routine is very intact. I try and do very similar tasks in the morning. Try and keep a routine just to make sure I'm ready for every day. Make sure I've got everything I need.
For example,
I think I like to have like a well balanced breakfast.
mhm.
Uh, Pretty much quite early in the morning. Obviously, hygienic wise, I always shower before. Um, and then sometimes I just like to listen to music as well, like chilled out, very like lo-fi kind of music. Just try and get the headspace in the right place. You know what I mean?
Wow. And do you consider yourself to be more of a day or a night person?
Oh, I'm much more of a night owl. That's for sure. I don't take advantage of the daytime on weekends. I'll say that much.
Always being a night owl?
Uh, it's developed over the last couple of years as I've got older. I think
Uh-huh.
I've definitely turned to more like night hours, I'd say.
Amazing. Okay. Next question. Let's do it. Hey, George. Next question is, what does money mean to you?
Uh, I think I don't see money as financial gain and sort of rather what it means to you as a person. I think people saying that money makes you the happiest person in the world, and to a certain degree, I would agree.
Mhm.
Um, but I think without money, there's so many things nowadays that you can do without money that obviously can improve you as a person and still give you that joy in life that money alternatively could give you.
Yes, I think money, it's a tool that, you need to know how to use it. Sometimes it can, if it comes too much, it can go over your head and it can kind of lose a little bit about, about things in life. However, money is not, it's great. I think it's good for you to have money as well. I think it's a way for you to achieve things and you can do things that just money can do it. But however, you need to have the balance. That's how I see as well.
Of course, yeah, I completely agree.
Easy. Next question. Let's do it. George, tell me, what was the best part of growing up in London, in your opinion, when you think about your experience?
I think it's in London. There's such a range of things to do for like almost every age group. I think if you're a
Mhm.
kid, there's always a playground 5 minutes away from your house. Like you're never going to be far away from like an active outside zone where you could kick a football about or throw a rugby ball or just play on the swings or something. You're always going to have that around you. And as you get older, you start to look for more like the socializing clubs. You start especially in my experience as I got older, going to pubs with my parents and my uncles, and just kind of socializing with people. And you get to meet a lot of really cool people, and as you get older, like especially people older than me, like the conversations you have with a lot of these people are like they're so like mind altering. I think.
And what you don't like about the city, about London? What's the negative part of it?
I th- I think for me I think it's kind of lost its touch a little bit. I think London used to be this almost extravagant place. Like you'd have a day out in London with your family and you'd go to the London Eye, you'd go to the Parliament Houses, Buckingham Palace, and now all it's seen as like you and your pals want to go for 5 minutes, go to a corner shop and go home. It's like it's kind of, in my opinion, like it's just all round lost its kind of touch of like class that I think.
I see. All right. Next question is, tell us about your first kiss and your first love.
Wow. um, I would say I wasn't as growing up almost into like the relationship type. I think for me, I
Uh-huh.
quite enjoy alone time. I enjoy
Yeah.
being by myself but I'd say my first relationship, I wouldn't class it as a relationship, but obviously the person I was with was.
Mhm.
Um, I think I was really young. It must have been when I was uh maybe coming towards the age of 16.
Uh-huh.
So it was one of those. It was just like you're best friends, but you've got the relationship label on it. You know what I mean? Like it's.
Uh-huh.
But I think as well, it's like it's growing up. Things change. You start to see things a lot differently. Like as I got older, I saw relationships as much more of what they're meant to be than when I was
Mhm.
younger.
Absolutely. And how do you see the dating life in London? How do you think, like in the big city where there are so many people, so many nationalities, people always on the go? How do you see through the experience that it's easy to date in London, or do you find it quite difficult?
I think that in terms of, I'm gonna touch on like three different points here because I think for the first point, I think its location is one of the biggest things because everywhere in London is very accessible. So
Yeah.
if you were to meet someone, say I were to live in East London, right? If you were to meet someone in North or West, it's it's really accessible. Like you see elsewhere around the country, like you got to travel hours to see like people. But over here, it's so accessible, and also I think sort of touching on the cultural side that you said. I think the fact that we've got so many cultures in within London now, I think we've seen a huge rise in like different cultures now being a part of like the UK scene.
Yeah,
Um, I think it's really good for people to try and like experiment outside their comfort zone, if you know what I
yeah,
mean. Because
absolutely.
sometimes you can find so much joy in other cultures. Like I remember there was a couple of people I went for a drink with these Eastern European fellas, and there's always been this stereotype around Eastern Europe that um, they're quite like antisocial and stuff like that. But genuinely, like probably one of the nicest experiences. You spend a couple hours with them, and you get to realize they're genuinely nice people. So especially making friends from other cultures is like is top notch over here. I think it's one of the best parts of London.
Totally, I totally agree. I think it's not every city that can accommodate so many nationalities, so many different culture, and people. You just cross people's lives, and you go like, my God, you just learn a lot. You just, you just gain a lot with that. That's how I see as well.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. Couldn't agree more. I
Amazing.
think it's something that's gonna grow. Just I think we're gonna see more cultures being a part of the UK scene.
Hmm.
Like we started taking a lot of religious holidays from like the Middle East and South America
Hmm.
much more seriously over here in the last like 5 to 10 years. And I think that's such a good improvement because it's welcoming so many other cultures in.
Hmm. Amazing. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, next question for you is, if I would ask your best friend right now to define yourself in one positive word and one negative word only, what your best friend would say?
Oh my God. I actually asked my mate this the other day. I thought it was quite funny. He said I'm very genuine, but I'm also really irritating and talk way too much. I feel like once I start talking, I can't stop. You know what I mean? Like I think it's a positive it's a sorry a positive and a negative. It's like you're very friendly, but then you also try and like take the room. You know what I mean? A lot of the time.
How did you and your best friend path cross out? How did you guys meet up for the first time?
So we initially met through one of my other mates that I wasn't too close with, but I used to play video games with them when I was younger. And he introduced me through FaceTime to, which is now my best friend. We ended up meeting up. We realized that we were only about 20-25 minutes away from each other.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it really pushed the friendship through my other mate.
And what's the biggest difference between both of you and the biggest similarity?
The biggest difference is I'd say our height. My pal is he's actually 6'5". He's
Wow.
yeah, he's heading on 6'5", and I'm only just about 6 foot at the
All right.
moment. So he absolutely towers me. But that's
But
like
you are very tall as well.
yeah, just about 6 foot. I'll take 6 foot. If I stay here, I'll be all right. You know what I mean? Um,
Good, wow.
what was the other part of that?
And the
Uh,
difference, the biggest difference between both.
the biggest.
No, sorry, the big similarity. The big similarity.
I think we both have a huge passion for football. I think football is one of our biggest passions. We try. There's been so many occasions where we've gone to games together. Like it might not be a team we support. We just like we saw £5 tickets online, and we've got the train up there. And we've ended up watching 90 minutes of football for a fiver, and we just kind
Wow.
of share those experiences, like traveling around the country watching football.
Oh wow. Who do you support?
I try to support Crystal Palace at the moment. I try to.
And why Crystal Palace?
Um, I think my family have always supported Palace. My granddads, my dad, all my uncles. So I was kind of born into the fan base, and my uncles are very like if you know the Fanatics or like the Ultras. My uncles have always been part of like the Ultra scene at Palace. So I got
Right.
introduced straight away into that scene, and it's like it's kind of stuck with me ever since.
Oh wow. Amazing. I'm originally from Brazil, and in Brazil, football for us is like the biggest passion ever.
Oh, I can't like I've got to give it to Brazil. Some of the players that they have produced is unbelievable. Like you see back in the day, like the likes of Ronaldinho,
Yeah,
Arnold, and then even the newer days, you've got Vinicius, and people like that. They're different, mint mate.
yeah,
I guess because in Brazil, correct me if I'm wrong, is a lot of people in Brazil play like street football. Street football
yes,
massive over there, so it's like
yeah,
up in the favelas and
yeah.
in like the cages and like people just like balling out. I'm like I'd love to go over to Brazil one day. I think just to see the football scene out there.
I'll tell you something. So the favelas are in, the big city like Rio, São Paulo. They have like the favela. But where I come from, like the other places in Brazil, we don't have favelas. Even though you always play football like in the street, it's some. I think because we've learned in a very difficult way, and suddenly when you get to the more professional, for you it's easy just to play because you already went through the hardest part of playing, around the streets and everything. But yeah, football, even growing up, like as soon as you're born, you're already here. Football, it's something like
Yeah, yeah.
very passionate in Brazil, for sure.
Could I ask you a question
You
quickly?
can
I'd,
absolutely,
I'd, I'd love to ask. So you obviously growing up in Brazil,
yeah.
did you always have that passion from a young age? Like I want to be a professional footballer. Was that
Um,
like the dream at one point?
Um, Actually, fun enough, because I was I'm not taller as you, I'm not tall as you. However, I was quite tall as a teenager. And in Brazil, the second one after football, it's volleyball. Volleyball is very big in Brazil as well. But
Okay.
during the time when I was playing football, I was playing volleyball, I was playing basketball, handball as well. So sport in Brazil, it's something huge. We grow up like playing sports. However, when the teachers they can see some abilities in you that goes different direction, they start to encourage you. So I remember playing football a few times, but it wasn't something that was the best or one of. But I had more ability playing volleyball. Yeah, I played volleyball for years as professional, like as a teenager. I started when I was 12, and I finished when I was 18 when I left Brazil because I was playing every single day. And when something that they support you, you start getting passionate about it. But
Mhm.
football, I think all of us know young boys, the beginning, there's something about football that is in our blood, you know what I mean? But it's fun enough here in England as well. I've been living in England for most of my life, and here as well. I think football here as well is a big passion, but we just in a different way. I think you guys here, you get this strong passionate about watching football. We do as well, but we do in a different way. I don't know. When you see, for example, Ronaldinho playing, those big stars, they feel like they are dancing. They feel like they are dancing when they
Yeah,
play
it's
football.
the level of football out there is just it's different, mint, mate. If I could
Yeah.
put two words on it, it's different, mint.
Yeah, it's something about it in our blood. I think we see football in a different way. But yes, football in Brazil is like in England as well. People, we just grow up like watching football. It's like, but as for example, World Cups, all those big events. When Brazil is playing, trust me, everything closed, shut down. Like people just literally stop their day just to watch the football. It's something that growing up like, wow, that's something that I never seen anywhere before. So yeah,
And that's unbelievable. Like, especially like the World Cups would have been unreal out there. Like, especially when you guys hosted it in 2014.
yeah, yes,
Was Rio. It was
yes.
that World Cup. I remember it as well. I was very young. I was 9 years old.
Wow.
2014. So that was like the first World Cup I really paid attention to, and it I think that's where like the passion for playing
In
really.
my Oh, interesting. Next question. Let's do it. Before the next question, George, tell me, I could see in your profile about photography. There was a camera there, like as the main picture. Why
Mhm.
is that?
So I currently have a freelance side. I call it side hustle, but it's a freelance job. I do private photography for companies for marketing.
Okay.
So I will shoot marketing campaigns. I will do photo shoots,
Wow.
sometimes even modeling campaigns. But that's kind of like that's like putting me in a position where if I were to go mainstream and wanted to go professional with it, I'd have that experience. And I think that's been going for around probably 3 years now. I
Wow.
think I've been trying to work up that company. I've worked with quite a few like small companies and small businesses at the moment. Um,
See.
To be fair, I've never charged for it as well. I feel like I've never actually asked people to pay for my services because at the end of the day, if I'm able to put it on my portfolio and build me as a person, that's
Mhm.
worth that's worth any penny that anyone could ever give me, I think.
Totally, and it's all connected with your, your course you're taking right now as well about, you're in university. So I think it's all connected and just a plus for you as well.
Yeah, of course.
Great. Next question is, what is a significant event that has changed you?
Significant event, did you say?
That has changed you?
Okay. I'd oh you put me on the spot. I've got to start digging through the archives. I'd have to say it probably was my first job. So I got a job through my dad when I was 16. It was a first retail job. I don't know if you know about the co-op stores.
Um,
It was like they're little supermarkets.
oh, okay.
And I was basically just stocking shelves at 16, just getting a little paycheck every week. It was nice because you're able to go out with your mates at the end of it. Um, but yeah, it definitely taught me like so many life skills like that I even use now, like team building, communication skills, being able to work under pressure, and it all leans into the media industry now because if we're tight on a deadline on a film shoot, then I've got to be willing to step up under the pressure and get it done. And I think if anything, like I've got my dad to thank for that because it's without him, I wouldn't have learned those skills for a long time after that.
Wow.
So I think he put me in a great position from an early age, I think.
It's your dad the closest person in your life for you? You feel more close to?
Yeah, I obviously see my parents as equal. Like
I
my,
see.
my parents are always going to be my parents, but I think my dad's taught me the social aspects of my life. Like he's taught me how to ride a bike, how to play football, how to
Wow.
do all this stuff, develop me as a person. My mum has almost been that shoulder. You know what
I
I mean?
see.
She's been that like emotional side of my life. Like when obviously like hard times and stuff like that, I know I can go to my mum because my dad, yes, he helps me in that side, but I think my mum's a lot more tuned in with like emotions and stuff like that.
I
So I
see.
think both my parents have had an incredibly crucial role in my life, but I would differentiate them, but I wouldn't at the same time because they've played such a big impact between the two.
Wow. Okay, so your parents are watching this interview right now, and you have a moment, an opportunity to send them a message. What would you
Oh,
say?
you're gonna make me go, mate. um, I'd say if my parents were watching this interview right now, I'd say I don't think you lot understand what you've done for me in these 18 years because I've never shown that kind of gratitude in a way that's traditional. But trust me, I try to show gratitude as much as I can. And if you pick it up, then you know how grateful I am. But that's just my way of speaking, you know. So at the end of the day, thank you. Seriously.
Oh, that's sweet. Wow, very good. 3 questions left. Let's do it, George. You like dancing?
No, can't dance. Won't dance.
Remember the football, Brazilian footballers? Remember dancing?
Yeah, like twinkle toes.
Right. Next question for you is: if you met someone sad in the street for any reason, what would be your approach or your advice to this person?
See, I actually, it's quite funny you say that because I did have to deal with this exact situation. So there was this girl, I was just sat on the bench outside of uni waiting for my next lecture to start. And this girl comes like walking down the road, like covering her eyes, stuff like that. So I knew something was wrong. And basically, I flagged her down, but tried to stay really polite with it. I was like, "Do you want to come and sit with me for 5 minutes?" And she
Wow.
was she was like, "Yeah, I need someone to sit with." I'm like, "Sweet, come sit down." Um, so then I was like, "How's your day going?" She's obviously still in a bit of a mess. So I try to like keep it really civil. So I'm like, "How's your day going? How's your lectures been this morning?" Stuff like that. And then I go just once she realized she's comfortable and she's not like getting mugged off or nothing. Like, I just say, so what's going on? Why are you in this kind of state? And she talks to me about it, and I try and help her. And at the end of the day, at the end of the whole conversation, I gave her my phone number at the end of it, and I pretty much said, if you feel like this again, and you're at uni, text me, and we'll just go and sit in a cafe. And I've ended up being quite good mates with her, and she hasn't texted me since. I've seen her a couple of times before that, or like after that situation, and she seems to be doing better. Like, but I obviously reassured her that if she ever got back to that point, I'd obviously take time out of my day, because I don't like to see people in that state. Because I remember a time when I was in that state, and like I didn't get help like that. So I think like the least I can do is try and pass on what I didn't get.
Wow, that I've got goosebumps now saying that, George. I think it's such a, it's great about, sometimes we don't know what's going on in people's lives or situations, and sometimes if you give a little extra attention, you have no idea how a big impact that can give those people's lives. And sometimes, like as you said, just sit down for 5 minutes, or maybe just need to hear someone saying that. And I think it's wow. Tell me something. What's the biggest joy of being Georgie? What do you like the most about being you?
About being me,
Yeah.
I think I'm able to just be myself. I think I when I was growing up, like I had, when I was in like primary school, and that I still had that kind of like Welsh accent and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then, obviously, because my uncles were over here, I kind of developed this kind of like Cockney accent that I've got now, or like kind of East End accent.
Right.
And I think I was the only kind of person in my area that kind of spoke like this. And I used to get a little bit of grief about it, like people used to say, "Why are you talking like that? What's going on?" But it literally comes down to it comes down to the fact that I got a close group of mates that kind of understood it, and then from then on, I was able to like be myself suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, I've kind of just I try to embrace everything I do. I kind of just do everything with 110%.
Wow.
I think.
Wow. As you mentioned about Cockney accents, so people who watch this interview right now, maybe they don't know or they don't understand. Give me an example, like a phrase or a word or something that people say in a different way that that is different to other parts of London.
Okay, so do you know about Cockney rhyming slang?
It rings a bell. Tell me about.
So just to go into the history of it. So when the East End, they used to get into a lot of trouble with police and stuff like that. So they created this kind of language that makes no sense, but everyone understands it, so they can communicate with each other away from the police that don't understand it. So so pretty much Cockney rhyming slang comes down to you were to say some random gibberish, right? And it would rhyme with what you're actually trying to say, but it wouldn't be that word. So just for reference, it'd be like if I would say go down the old apples and pears.
Oh my God. Tell me to now translate or say in a different way for us to understand.
So what that basically means is apples and pears goes down to do you want to go for a beer?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It can be any part of the word that rhymes, but it's just something you kind of know or you don't. You know what I mean? You've got to be kind of like in that kind of East End loop.
I see. The other day I was at work and we were talking about that, and we Google it, and there actually, if you go on Google, there's like a lot of phrases, and like the Cockney accents, it's different, as you just mentioned. Now there's so many ways of they saying that it means something that people they're not expecting to. So it's interesting. Amazing.
And it all originated from people trying to evade saying silly stuff around the police, and that's all it evolved from.
It's great to hear that. I think it's amazing to learn those things, because so many people live in London and sometimes they don't know about this history things, and it's quite interesting because you go to different parts of London and you can hear some different accents. and people who lives here, they can have an idea. People who, for example, in my case, I'm a foreign person, and for me, it's I found very interesting to know those facts about London, about language, accents, and all those slangs that you can find everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, if you just go around London, even slightly out of London, there's so many different languages or different like dialects that people speak. Like, if you go more south, you'll find a lot of people are more informal, quite like dull voiced down south, and then you go west and they're quite like a little bit more posh, a little bit more like well spoken, and then it's just like north.
Yeah, interesting. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Before the next question, you talk about football. Tell me 3 names of your favorite footballers at all time. Like 3 big names that for you is like, wow, you know, there are top 3.
There's going to be a Brazilian in there. There's going to be a Brazilian in there. So if I'm going back to like my early days, I think because I play in goal, so I'm a goalkeeper, so I always looked up to Iker Casillas as kind of an idol growing up, training the way you play football for Spain.
What's his name again?
Casillas.
Casillas. Okay.
Yeah. So then I'd say Steven Gerrard as well.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, Steven Gerrard's up there, and maybe a new school one. I've got to put Messi in there. I've got to put Messi in there. He's won it all. He's done it all.
Okay. So one day you're gonna wake up in the morning and you're gonna have 3 missed calls, one from each player just mentioned right now. Which one you call back straight away? Which one you send a message saying, okay, I'll call you later? And the third one, you don't call back, don't send a message, don't say anything, just go like, okay, I can contact him another time. Tell me.
Okay, I'm not calling Gerrard back. I'm leaving Casillas a message. So yes. I call Messi back straight away.
Yeah.
I leave Casillas a message saying I'll call you later.
I see.
I'm not calling Steven Gerrard back. Because I don't like Liverpool.
Oh my God. Okay, there is a story behind. I can see now.
Yeah.
Next question is, what would your ideal life look like?
My ideal life?
Yeah.
I don't want all this flamboyant, like, rich, upper class lifestyle. I don't think it's for me. I don't think that's how I was raised. I wouldn't want it. I just want a comfortable lifestyle, nice house, nice family. 2 kids. 16 dogs. and just a nice car, nice house, nice environment. Yeah, and comfortable financially.
Why 16 dogs?
Because I love dogs. I just want as many as I can. As many as I can take care of.
Do you have any dogs right now?
I currently have 1 dog living here, and we look after 2 other dogs as well.
So you need to find another 12.
And yeah, another 13 dogs will be 13. Great for me.
Yeah,
and then I'm done. Yeah.
Wow. Saying that, George, what's the meaning of life for you?
42. I'm joking. I'm only joking.
What did you say? I couldn't get it.
There was a joke back in the day that like someone said, "What's the meaning of life?" and it was 42, like the number 42.
Oh, I see.
But
okay. Actually, I'm turning 42 this Sunday. Actually, fun enough.
There we go. The meaning of life is 42. You're gonna find your meaning at 42.
You couldn't have a better answer for my birthday. Now I found the meaning of my birth at 42. I always remember that. Okay.
Perfect. But if I was to give you a proper answer, I'd say you are your own meaning of life. I'd say you are the reason you exist. You are the reason you do well. You are what your life is.
I love that. Wow. 42 and plus all of this you just said now.
Yeah.
Last question. Ready?
Yeah. All good.
Next one. But before the last question, tell me what has been the most challenging part of your studies right now?
Most challenging part is the step up from college life to university life. I think the workflow difference.
Mhm.
Like I'm writing an essay every other week and having to plan for 3 different projects at the same time, and it's a
Wow.
lot. It's a lot, but I love it regardless.
Hmm.
So I'm willing to put the work in. But yeah, the biggest challenge has definitely been the workflow difference.
Wow. Okay. And your parents, they supported you when you decide to take this journey?
Um, I I always said when I finished college, I don't want to go to uni. I always said it.
Right.
Um, and then I started applying for jobs. Sorry, I'm going to waffle for a minute. Um, but I started applying for jobs, and every job in that industry required a degree
I
to apply
see.
for. So I was like, is there any way I can still get into a uni? So I decided to apply for a clearing to my uni. Ended up getting a message back saying, we need you to do this, this, and all this, right? So I done it. I got accepted. Um, and then I told my parents that I got accepted. I was like, I'm going to uni. And they were like, "Where's this come from?" Because you said 2 months ago that you don't want to go to uni. Um,
Wow.
and I was like, "Well, I might as well because it's just going to set me up for the best future." You know what I mean? And
Totally.
that's that at the moment. That's my only thing I want to do at the moment is just set myself up for a confident future.
Wow. Beautiful. Last question for you is, what is the soundtrack of your life and why?
If I were to put a song on it,
Yeah, like that
yeah,
song.
okay. I would say, uh, Mockingbird, Eminem.
Wow. And why is that?
Because I've been through tough times and I've been through highlights. But at the end of the day, I just keep trekking on, and that's all I can do is just keep trekking. I think, yeah.
You should say rapping now. This you should say rapping.
Oh my god, I'm not going to start rapping. I mean,
I'm joking. I'm just teasing you
that's where
now.
it comes to boundary.
All right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
Okay.
Let's start with money,
Gain
family,
everything
life,
meaningful,
fear.
irreversible.
I
Wait.
like that. Love,
uh, ooh, oh, you stumped me. Love, love. Choice,
religion,
meaning,
politics,
irrelevant.
friendship,
Core,
desire,
want,
regret.
irreversible.
That's so true. um, success,
Goal,
wish,
want,
happiness.
everything. I feel like I keep repeating it.
It's okay. One word for England.
England. Why not?
One word. One word for London.
One word for London. Uh, growing.
One word for photography.
Beautiful.
And the last one now, football. One word.
Life.
Wow, that was very,
Football is
very strong. Life.
life.
Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your best friend for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your best friend, what's the most beautiful thing about Georgie? What's something that, when you think about him, it's something that you always take to you, close to your heart? What he would say?
What's the most beautiful thing about me?
Yeah, if I would ask your best friend about it.
I think they'd say my generosity,
Mm-hmm.
which is sometimes a blessing and a curse at the same time. I think
Right.
I'm very generous. If people need my help, I help. I drop whatever I'm doing, everything. I feel like the curse is I'm second to myself, first to my friends.
Wow. I see.
But yeah, I think they'd say generosity. I think.
Amazing. Okay. And if I would ask the same question to your dad, would be the same answer?
Say my willingness.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's play now, Georgie and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. But before that, let's play the music one more time. Let's do it. Look at you dancing the last one, the last song.
I'm trying to get into it, mate. I'm trying to get into it.
Okay, George, you can ask me a question now.
I've been thinking about this all day. You know, I mean, when you asked me to think of a question, I've been thinking about it all day. But it's going to be a little bit of a two-part question.
Okay.
So you get 15 minutes, right, with a celebrity that you can bring back, and you have to talk about one thing. Who are you bringing back, and what are you talking about?
I love your question. I had over 1,300 interviews on the show so far, and nobody asked me this question. Wow, very creative. Right. Okay. There are so many people that gone that, you know, when I think about it, I go like, wow. But actually, you know, the first person that came to my mind is Princess Diana. Yeah. And
yeah.
I would bring her back, and the topic of the conversation would be what's something that you know, you always had closer to you, to your heart, that nobody knew it, nobody, you know, the media, the royal family, your family, nobody, something close to your heart that, you know, you just kept to yourself, that, you know, people, they would never knew it, they would never find out about that, something about you that got closer to your heart, that it would be your main secret that nobody knew it. That's what something I'd like to talk to her, because, you know, her, since she started, you know, she came out, and as you know, the princess Diana, you know, everything was about her, everything was about Princess Diana. And I think people, they had a lot of, you know, concept, they knew a lot about her life, people was wondering, she was in the spotlight all the time, but I'm sure she had her own secret as well, something that she never talked about it. So I'd like to know something about it that she kept like secret forever, something about her that nobody knew it. So I think I'd love to have a conversation with her about that.
That's a great answer. I have to add it to you. That was a brilliant answer.
All right. Did you enjoy the interview, George?
That was great. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. You really like you got me tugging on my heartstrings.
Amazing.
You got me tugging
Thanks again. Thanks for taking the time. I think, you know, such a young guy, and, you know, already you have a good heart. I can feel it through the interview that, you know, I think your best friends, I'm sure he knows what he's talking about. Sometimes you don't know the person, but you can feel it just talking to, you know, to people. Sometimes you feel their energy. And carry on, you know, good luck with your studies, you know, with I can see your passion about, you know, your studies right now. And I think you're doing, you know, just go for it. And I'm sure opportunities are going to come along on the way. Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Any positive message to live by? I'm going to go with treat everyone how you'd like to be treated. That's a good one. I like that one.
Very simple and easy.
Yeah.
Easy, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, George. Sorry?
Yet effective.
Absolutely.
Very effective.
Thanks again, and we keep in touch. It was a pleasure having you on the show, okay? Regards to your family and your friends. Take care.
Thank you so much, mate. You have a great rest of your night.
Good night. Bye.
Later.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.